You're scrolling through social media. There's someone who hasn't been in the market as long as you have, someone who isn't as credible as you, who somehow, in a very short space of time, been able to attract an opportunity or have certain footfall. Has that ever happened to you? I truly believe the only reason this happens is because they're more visible than you. That's it. If I don't know you exist, then how on earth are you going to attract the opportunity? We're in a world right now, and you're going to hear me say this a lot, if you're not visible, you're invisible. And we're also in a world where there's a lot of competition and there are only a certain number of consumers and customers. How are you going to attract them and get them into your doors? Right? I grew up in an industry where I was behind the scenes, and I always used to sit there and look at people in front of the camera and think, why are they famous? Like, they're people, they're human, we're human. What makes them so special? I happen to work on Mission Impossible. Any guesses the number one question I get asked when people find out I worked on the movie? Did I meet Tom Cruise? Absolutely. I get asked every single question under the sun about Tom Cruise. Did I meet him? How good looking is he? How tall is he? Everything under the sun. I do not get asked a single question about what I did on the movie. Not one. Nobody cares. People don't care about what happens behind the scenes. They don't care about what happens behind the camera. They care about what they see. They care about the star power in front of the camera. So you could be working all day and night in the kitchen, right? But if I don't know who you are, what difference does it make? And then you really think about it. They're doing their job. We're watching them do their job. And we're making them famous for doing their job. And I used to sit there and think, surely if people watched me do my job, I'd be famous. When I grew up, fame was reserved for celebrities, right? It was reserved for people, for actors, for people who were in a certain lifestyle or certain industry. The world we live in today, fame is possible for just about everybody just by using your phone. The barrier to entry has completely changed. There are some people who hate being on camera. You don't see the point in posting on social media. Don't have time. Maybe someone else should do this. Maybe someone else would be a better choice than me. Why do I need to do this? Why would anyone want to hear what I have to say? Everyone feels at least one of these. At least one, if not more. You're not alone in this boat. It is an abnormal world. It is not normal to be going, hi, it's not. But you have to normalize it. I wasn't always this visible. This is a very recent journey in my life. This is like the last decade or so. Prior to that, I was always behind the scenes. Right? I was always someone who was highly, highly uncomfortable putting myself in front of the camera. And because of that, I understand what it feels like to be sitting in your seat. I understand what it feels like the minute you see a camera to go, or also to have that mindset of like, do I need to do this? Like, surely it's enough that I'm focused on the business. I really didn't think I needed to. But I started to, and it made a huge shift in my business and in my personal life as well. I'm one of those people who used to think that those in the public eye were just vain. Why are they showing us their life on social media? I don't want to see their life. Why are they, like, they're seeking attention? And I used to feel above it, actually. Like, I don't need to do that. I don't need to show people my life. But visibility isn't vanity, it's strategy. When you stay top of mind, that's when opportunities come to you. You realize that it's how you do it strategically. It's not about vanity. It's about attracting your target audience. It's about understanding who your target audience is and creating content that will attract them to you. There's a 66% chance that someone is more likely to come work with you if they've seen a video of you. Content creation is the new networking. You know, you're going to like one networking event after another, whereas you're underestimating the impact of you putting one video out. One piece of content that you put out there has the potential to reach a significantly higher audience than who we have in the room. Manal Al Alem, she's a very famous chef. She's a very famous chef in the Arab world. And I remember asking her, I was like, how did you start on this journey, this cooking series? And she said, you know what? It was my kids. She had no idea how to create a video. And her kids were like, we'll help you. And her kids actually helped her do that first video. And she put it out there. And a week later, her kids came back and they're like, Mama, it did so well. You need to do another one. So they helped her do a second one. And then within a very short space of time, within about 3 years, she grew over 3 million followers on Instagram. Why this is interesting is because it created a completely new revenue stream for her. For her in particular, she ended up building a kitchen in her basement just for the brand collaborations and for her content. She's female, religious, she's older in age, didn't grow up with social media or filming herself or any of the things that we feel the younger generation are growing up with today, and she managed to do this. So I was standing there with Manal hearing all of this, and I thought, you know what? If someone like Manal can do this, I can do this. I'm going to talk about a completely different industry. Rory Sutherland, he's in the advertising industry. He's in Ogilvy. He's very senior in Ogilvy. He's in his late 50s, and in the last few years has grown a huge TikTok following. His feed is just clips from all of the moments that he's already in the public domain. And he's grown, I'm not even sure what the number is, but it's above 300,000 followers on TikTok. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can look at what are you currently doing in your life that can be clipped and reused to showcase who you are. You need to figure out what is your unique voice. What is it that you bring to the table that no one else brings to the table? You're not going to attract everybody. You're just going to attract the people who are right for you. They need to see you for 3 months consistently. And 3 months consistently, which at a minimum is 1 a week. So at a minimum, you're looking to 12 to 14 videos. It takes that long before someone, it's not even work with you, before someone just says, oh yeah, I've seen your videos. Great, well done. That's all. It's just you've reached their level of awareness. What usually happens is everyone posts one video and everyone under the sun congratulates them. Everyone like, oh, Mabruk, love it, great job, good. And you have high views and high engagement. Then you post a second one and slightly less people do. And you post a third one and crickets. And you're like, where are all these people who loved my first 2 videos? Where did they go? You get to number 4, crickets, and you around video 4 or 5 will give up. And what most people don't realize is that we're not trying to get applause from the people who know us. We're trying to reach the people who don't. We want to get all the way to video 14 so that the people who don't know us, who don't work with us, are now engaging. I had to realize that being visible equals business development. My LinkedIn is scheduled in my diary every day because I know that if I post, it keeps me visible, it keeps me consistent, it's out there, it eventually leads to an opportunity. And sometimes it leads to much better opportunities than when I physically meet someone or when I follow up with someone. It can start to attract opportunities, right? So you have to realize it's business development. This is not vanity, this is not fun, and if something's business development, you prioritize it accordingly. I've seen it happen to me where I'm walking in a mall and someone goes, oh, I just saw your video, oh my God, oh, I really want to come to you. And the first time someone came up to me and went, hi, you're Reem. You know, have that moment, that Rolodex moment in your head, where like, how do I know this person? How do I know this person? I don't remember this person. You know, and I'm like trying to remember their name and I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, and then I realized, I don't know this person. They've watched or seen content and I'm having this whole conversation and it's led to an opportunity and they're booking on the, and it's bizarre. The first few times it happens, you're like, this is abnormal. And then you realize this is the world we live in. And then you see the opportunity. Then you're like, if this is happening on my minimal efforts, imagine if I took this seriously. Everyone needs to get to that tipping point. It takes a while, but you need to get to that tipping point and you see the potential. Because if you're not doing it, someone else is, and someone else is going to attract the customers. So it might as well be you.